And I'm Tom Manhart. You may have noticed or remember me from being up here earlier. Early on, I had asked Risha not to put my name in the fishbowl, not because I didn't want to come up here. I just didn't want to come up here. In the first year, I didn't want to make it a Tom Manhart show. But I think either through the grace of God, but probably more likely through the grace of Risha, my name was pulled, and here I am. I grew up in Our Lady of Lourdes Parish. My dad owned an air filtration company, and at one time or another, everybody in the family worked for Dad. But then there got to be a time where we all grew up and all wanted to continue working for Dad, and I realized that out of 7, I wasn't the oldest, nor was I one of the brighter ones, so I had a ceiling that I was hitting. And through some happenings in the family business, I was fired. And so I didn't really fight all that hard. And went out and, with the encouragement of my wife, we started a printing company, International Minute Press. And we're 12 years old. And at the time we started, I would say we were what I call submarine Catholics. We would surface for Easter and Christmas, and maybe a holy day here and there. And does anybody watch NCIS, where Gibbs smacks somebody on the back of the head? God was not as gentle with me, but it seemed like that. I really had a really deep spiritual reawakening, and it came through one of my employees. I felt that I could not get through to this person regardless of what I did. It would get to the point where I would just turn bright red and get these raging headaches, and I would just have to walk away from this person. And at the time I was kind of starting, not necessarily spiritual direction, but I was talking with my parish priest once a month, and he noticed I was late, but I was actually in the church praying, just asking what to do, and I talked with him, and he said, well, are you looking at that person as a person and not as a means to an end? And it kind of all came crashing down to where, no, I wasn't. She was kind of helping my bottom line, and that's all I really saw of this person. And just in that moment, or I guess it took some time, I realized I had to approach my employees totally different, in a totally drastic way. And this is just really been happening in the last 5 or 6 years, is that when I sit them down in hiring or in reviews, I always remind them that we aren't meant to use one another, but we're meant to encourage and move them forward in their careers. And if they're not happy with me, I'm always there to talk to them. But it's really a one-on-one, and it's really helped me deal with my employees. And just using that, I was having some issues with customers. Every time I would see certain customers, I'd just go, ugh, what is this person doing here again? And talking this through with my spiritual director, he just said one simple thing again, basically, is, are you seeing this person as a person? Are you seeing them as Jesus? And putting that into play over this is really a new thing for me, is that I'm approaching everybody when I can, and I fail, that's Jesus. And there are moments when I just go, wow, that person's beautiful. And it really hit me with probably one of my worst customers. I realized that person was just a very lonely person, and they probably only have 1 or 2 people that they can go interact with. And if my 5 or 10 minutes interacting with them is going to make their day, then I think I did what Jesus would do. I really placed Jesus in the center of my business. As I think Jane Belch said, she made Jesus her CEO. And I said, okay, God, if you want this business to work, I'm going to put you right there. You're going to be my CEO. And that was last year. Since then, I've lost 4 employees. Probably had one of the less spectacular years But I really think it's God saying, we're going to start this over. I'm really going to be your CEO. So that's how I'm approaching it. And we'll see where I'm at next year. Thanks.